Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Sunless Sea. I am your host, BrainBoy20. When we last left off, we had visited Vanderbite, we had taken on some more criminal contacts in London, and we basically have been given free rein. Our current objectives... well, we completed everything we could possibly do in London at the end of the last episode. Our current objectives right now, aside from visiting everything here, we have current objectives: ambition, become London's most yada 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 admiralty commission. We need to find strategic information from the Iron and Misery Company funging station somewhere not far from home waters. We have to find several esoteric items for the venture's dream. Bring wine to Vanderbite, but I'll show you why that's not practical later. Find 7 pieces of skin tilak or 7 volumes of romantic literature, yada yada yada. Box from the Z. We had something else, right? No? Oh well. Shops, let me show you why. We can't really do the whole casks of wine. They cost 21 echoes, which is the currency of fallen London. We cannot buy the 10 crates that he requests. So, as such, let us launch back to sea. Our current objective now is simply to explore. We're going to be looking for the Iron and Misery funging station, which I believe is to the northeast. And as such, we're also going to make a quick pit stop at Hunter's Keep. Hopefully we'll get something strange awaits us, whatever that event quality is, before we get to Hunter's Keep, although I highly doubt it. I'd like to get the free supplies, that's always useful. And let me get my lamp out of the way, because that just makes things even harder to see. I'm going to do this. I'm going to... Whoa. Oh no. Why did I do that? Lights are L. F toggles full power to the engines. So I just wasted a good amount of fuel, and something awaits. So we're docking at Hunter's Keep. We're first things first going to reconnoiter the Isle, get a port of Hunter's Keep, and now we're going to have luncheon with Lucy, because we've already seen Phobe, so why not Lucy? A daft tale. Lucy leans over and whispers to you confidentially. A complex story about a butler, a pig, and an inheritance. You don't follow all the details of the plot, but somehow the pig ends up in an attic and the butler in a vicar's bed. Candles flicker, dishes enter and leave, and the wind butts gently at the window panes. By the time the plum pudding arrives, you're as cheerful as you've been in months. Gained 1 supplies, lost hunger, gained stones, tension. So we've gained all 3 gods' attention, we have no terror, and we've acquainted with the sisters. And there's nothing else here. I don't feel like using the recent news, as there are better places elsewhere. So let's launch full speed ahead to the northeast. We'll go bother with Vanderbite later. As of right now, we're going to be searching for new islands with a Z-Bat. And since there are no islands within range, we're going to take our sweet time and head out to Z. Pulwell Point, that was a lighthouse if I remember correctly. Although that usually tells me that there's some islands right there, a specific chain of islands that I appreciate so much. Baked breeze rises, the improbable scent of stone out of some distant desert. You are close to the Salt Lions. Well, I guess we'll continue searching, shall we? Boney Reefs is a long way to the southeast. Ooh. That's too far southeast. I want to get to the funging station, and I have a good idea of where it usually is. Can you find another? Distance to the northeast, and we got some distant bells. I believe that's a fog bank, and I kind of want to remain out of fog banks for right now, unless I want to hide. Although I guess I should at least show you what they do. Should be entering into a fog bank now. Yes, we've entered a fog bank. Our gunners are struggling to see our foes. Okay, lights off. Full speed away. And there's the Salt Lions. Secrets, you can spend secrets to improve your abilities. Right click on an officer to do so. Let's get to Zeal Port, because the Jelly Fleur has more health than I do and is very, very dangerous. So Zeal Port. No. Okay, we escaped him for now. And we actually discovered a place I've never seen before. So the Salt Lions, there's vast sorrow in their empty eyes. You stand on a bridge with the likely lass's locket in your hand. Don't you dare forget me. We can throw it away. With enough time and effort, you could break her heart. Or she, yours. Or we could keep it. It's a risk for both of you. Shorebound lovers grow lonely, and Z-captains die young. I feel as if we can ruin someone's life, we'll keep it. Close your hand over the locket. The air is cold, but the heat of your blood has warmed the metal of the locket. Keep it close. We lost one point of terror, which you don't really notice you gaining. I mean, I didn't expect myself to gain 4 terror almost immediately. Then the Salt Lions, 2 basalt beasts, cathedral-sized. They frown eternally at each other across the black waves. The north one carries an encampment, creeping human figures eat away at its features like rot. Picking. There's a supply dock below. Visit the Unmakers. Muscular pick-wielders rest on camp stools, watching you approach, passing hip flasks around. An unctuous overseer beckons you to sit. Then we can also compile a port report. Time, basalt, dissolution. Why not? Notes for the admiralty. Record of the activity of the Unmakers, such as they are. Rite of stone and silence. Alright. Carry sinks stone to London. The Unmakers are here to reduce the salt lines to rubble 1 block at a time. Help them in their work by carrying the rubble back to London. You'll need to deposit 20 units of spare cargo space, and I do not have 200 echoes. What do you think I am, made of money? Already burnt 2 units of fuel by doing that terrible action. Anyway, Salt's rights. The face of the Northern Sphinx is all but gone. Lost faces are sacred to Salt, they say. You are drawn there. To what end? Salt's voice is distant, but clear. The goddess of the Z defiant is. And we don't have an extraordinary implication. Or we can just visit the Unmakers. I have not done either of these, so let's go with the more risky option. Into the Z. Dive from the Sphinx's haze down a clean arc into the Z's chilly darkness. Float there in the quiet until your lungs are bursting, until light blooms behind your eyes. Rise gasping to the prickle of false stars, the shocked faces of your crew. You've brought something with you. You're the gods of the Z's. Salt's attention quality is gone. I've gained an extraordinary implication. That's all for now, and I've gained 7 terror. That's interesting. So that's what that quality is used for. I'll have to come back here at some point in time. And even because we're not using any supplies, I'm going to waste some time, and hopefully the Jelly Fleur will be gone from this place. Good. Lights out. Full speed ahead. Let's use the Z-Bat. Maybe he'll find something. Ooh, Station 3 is some distance to the east. Station 3. Oh, a little bit of a note. If you have your light off, you won't actually see anything in the undersea, and won't mark it on your charts. Something very important to note when traveling the undersea. Shepards Wash. The salty hinterland of London. Home to hermits, nuns, and shadowy business. And that's a steam pinnacle, I don't care much. So we found Station 3, Depot A, and Wolf's Rift. Let's visit Station 3. It's not where we want to go, but it's always nice to compile port reports while here. Oh. Station 3. Right. We may infer a Station 1 and a Station 2. We may conjecture a Station 4. Station 3. Machinery hums behind high steel walls. Up the hill, there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire, but the lamps are low where they burn at all. And your ship is the only one in harbor. We'll train our telescopes on the shore first. We can get a port report here, and we can survey the station. Church, or something else? You stand on the high point of your ship and look to the shore. There is a steepled building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight. No cross marks the top of it, nor any other symbol you recognize. We now have a port report of Station 3. I guess it's always a good idea to try the gate. The only way past the walls is an unimposing but sturdy-looking gate of triple barred silvery metal. The sign besides it reads Deliveries. We currently lack a soothe and copper long box. No way in. The metal is steel hard and icy cold to the touch. Attempts with chisels and crowbars fail. Perhaps you could bring the ship's guns to bear. But no. If you return with a certain delivery, the gate will be open. You'll know if you find it. Perhaps not. Let's leave. And we'll launch once more into the deep undersea. Shepards Isle is some distance to the southeast. That is an important location. I would like to visit that place if I can. And Megalops. Alright, I guess I can try to kill you. Just want to stay just barely in range at all times. Just get a free shot off and then full reverse. Of course you would submerge. Son of a gun. We might as well satiate our crew's hunger. The fragments gained are pointless. We've already read that in a previous episode. Have I found Shepherd's Wash? No. There's some distance to the... Okay, the east. I don't know why I keep getting west and east mixed up. Must be irritating. Looking at the map, the funging station probably is a bit south then. If only because things are randomly generated the further away from home, as they explained earlier. As such, the odds of me actually finding what I'm looking for are slim to none. Well, slim, not none. If there were none, I would never find it. I know I have a good idea of where it is, just it's still irritating to look for. Anyway, let's continue to the island. The port's on the far eastern side of the island always. At least if you know the general layout of the island, you always know where the port is. I'll send out the Z-Bat one more time to mark one final place on our journey. Khan's Glory is a long way to the southeast. That's not very long. Azala is praying. Might as well stop by Fieldhaven. Shepherd's Isle. Sheep, Lichen, Standing Stones. Of course, the bearded watchman tells you, there are no actual shepherds on Shepherd's Isles. Sheep are mostly illegal here. No, indeed, it's just the name of the gentleman that founded this island. Greybeard, sitting in the village square, nods solemnly. No sheep, one says, but plenty of tails. Ask us anything. We can have a picnic at the Standing Stones. in order to reduce terror, but that's pointless. Terror can be reduced easily. We can ask for any tales of any of the standing stones. We can get... Wait, what? The rest of the Z. I'll bother with that one later, at some point. Rest of the Z, the bearded watchman discuss. Here's what you'll need to be. We don't talk about the rest of the Z, but a sniveling caitiff draws you aside. I've got something for you, he promises. But I'll need some of that good stuff from London. A lot of that good stuff. We don't have any casks of mushroom wine, so we can't even do anything about this. And then we can engage a new first officer, the sigil-ridden navigator. Let me guide your ship. I know all the Z. How it was, how it will be. Please. The headaches only stop when I'm working. It would cost us 50 echoes, but we can gain the sigil-ridden navigator. So I ask, do we feel as if that's a good idea? We might need the echoes. But getting a better first officer is better than the sly navigator. Also, our surgeon's not on our ship. That's a problem. We'll engage the officer. Relief. Thank you. The nonsense here was a distraction for a while, but only the Z can help me now. Ah, my God, the air! The air! It's clear already. Let me chart a course for you. Ah, my head. My head. Point your officer by dragging him to the officer's tab to a slot at the top of the screen. Do this in port, not at Z, or you may unsettle your crew. So, let's do this before I forget. We'll get our surgeon, and we'll get our sigils-ridden navigator, who has a much higher mirror's quality and some veils, heart's iron, and we now have a doctor aboard. We can ask Tail... Oh, first things first, compile a port report. Oh yes, yes, my eyes. My yes. There have been goings-on. In the bleak light, oh, the false star surfaces roiling like a porridge pot, up with a roar of steam and flash of fire. 3 windows swim in tentacles! And then we saw His Highness. There was rather a lot of material, but we got a report on the Shepherd Isles. And now, for something awaiting us at the next port, we might get Tales of the Standing Stones, of the 3 Graves, or of Thornwell Croft. We'll ask about the Standing Stones. The bearded villagers are happy to talk about the local site. Well, site. A long way from home. You've heard of the Pillared Sea, where Irium lies. A wise man from Irium came here, 80 years ago. He planted 3 pillars. They were as big as fingers when I was young. Now they're as you see them. In my son's time, they'll be as big as crane docks. Oh, dock cranes. Nothing else here. Then I suppose we shall take our leave. And a little something. At any of these, you can get to harbor provisioners, any of these ports, and buy fuel and supplies. But I believe they cost more here than in London. So anyway, we're going to Khan's Glory next. Slow going, eh? This is one I don't like. You'd think there'd be a little bit more music playing, but ah well. Because the music's bloody fantastic here. We've discovered Leopard. We hear the voices that will be drowned. Oh, 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 run, 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 run. I can't even catch that. I'll find that later. We hear the voices that will not be drowned. This is the sea of the voices. We are close to Polythereme, where nothing is truly dead. The Salt Steppes. This is the domain of the new Khanate, whose ancestors came here long before London fell. We're going to back up. We're going to try to sneak our way in without using guns and gunfire. discovered wolf, tortoise, house of ancestors. Trying to avoid the new Khanate war trireme from killing me. There's the trireme right there. Khan's glory. We discovered the Khan's heart. Managed to snake our way into their harbor. I've never actually been here. This is actually quite terrifying, really. Look, the trireme is out here. Khan's glory. A place of stately isolation. Here are the palaces of the Khan and his court, each a fortress to itself. Sleek lords and ladies in belted robes, breakfast on balconies, an unlikely antelope peeks at you from a park. Guns rotate easily on motorized gimbals. Offer a gift to the leopard. The royal clan of the Khan himself has a notorious weakness for coffee, and his court follows suit. Petition for access to the Nefrit Quarter. The clan of Leopard grants trade licenses to foreigners. Offer a gift to the Taimen. This clan is named for a sizable ferocious fish of the surface. They have a fondness for drowning pearls for some secret clan ritual. Plead your case with the Taimen. The Taimen clan has long controlled the whites in gold, the loyalty service who watch Khanagans and foreigners alike. If they're convinced your intentions are good, they may relent. If suspicion has risen too high, this will reduce it. Ask the leopard to contacts to intercede with the Taimen. If your Khanagate suspicion has risen too high, the Taimen can help. The leopard may introduce them to do so. Cruise past the Khan's palaces. Khan's glory is steeply beauty, but clan lords are ever suspicious of spies, and those gun emplacements are vigilant. Ooh, this is gonna be a challenge. Officers, we here can train my veils, you can train my hearts. Can you train? You can train my mirrors. That is not good. Fine. We'll try it. A warning shot. Sculpted curves of stone and silver, coral statue. A triple salvo from a gun placement scars your bow. Turn back to the sanctioned harbor quickly. White and gold are watching you, and menaces Khanagate suspicion. I've lost one hull. Well, that is certainly interesting. I guess we shall retreat then. And try not to get shot. Our fuel is actually going lower. I had to go around the Arboreal Gate. Hopefully we can avoid those ships. Anyway, so we can find the funging station soon. Godfall is some distance to the northeast. I'm going to risk Godfall, but that's the last one I'm going to. And we're back in Polythreme. Got a fair amount of secrets, but I don't feel like using any of them just yet. Well, you might as well stop by Ashaven. And we discovered Godfall. Brawling, bearded men who live here call themselves monks. They pay lip service to a distinct stalactite which fell from the roof, but their chief's interest seems to be wine, blood, and shouting. The throats of the brothers are dry. They'll pay for something to moisten them. Offer them a hunting trophy as a gift to their collection. Let them tell you about the past and present events in the monastery. I don't see why not. We might as well get a port report. They're eager to talk about their history. The stalactite, they assure you, was one of the citadels of the starved men who dwelled in the roof. When it fell, a few of its occupants survived to become the monks' progenitors. How does that work, you wonder? With their vow of celibacy. They become vague and are suddenly eager to speak the details of passing shipping. We got our port report. We had explored the shattered citadel. If what stalactite was a monastery, before it ever fell from the roof, it was a citadel. The fall shattered it, killing all its occupants. Probably. Thought I should take a look. The more foxfire candles you have, the better. Bad things will happen if you run out. Fortunately, we have none of those things, nor do I dare to prepare for them, so we shall leave. We'll send out the Z-Bat one more time, but I think we should make due haste back to London. Polythereme is some distance in the north, i.e. it's right here. So I don't see why not. Let's take a stop by Polythereme if it's so close. Commingle, obey, Polythereme. Endure. Polythereme. Here is screaming. Taciturn Clayman. Taciturn Clayman. Evasive clothes colonies. Walking like humans. Cobbles that groan underfoot. On the hills above, a palace villa of marble. But even that writhes like buried bones in an earthquake. I believe we shall start by gathering intelligence. What news from Polythereme? What lives? The king with 100 hearts rules from his palace above the city. He is never seen. He makes no treaties with other lands. But there's unrest in the air. The claymen you speak to are obedient and humble, but they speak nervously of those who are not. The maimed, the rebellious, the unfinished. We now have a port report on Polythereme. We can get some shore leave here if our terror is too high. I still think it's low enough where we don't have to care. Drink beer that wails from the cups that sob if you like that sort of thing. We'd have to spend 30 echoes to do that, so I don't see much point. If we had a watchful curio, we can get an audience with the king with 100 hearts. The clay broker, leaning on his coffer staff, examines you coolly. The king will see your little friend, he says. No, he won't see you, not just now. He gestures for you to hand him the watchful curio. And we can also carry Clayman to London. Are they passengers or cargo? They're certainly the easiest passengers imaginable, just unless one of them turns out to be an unfinished man. Should have 6 units of cargo space available, we most definitely have that. So we shall ferry some men to London. Each one lies down in its appointed position next to the other, nestled snugly head by foot. We are for London, one explains to you. You now have 6 claymen marked for London. Firkin of prisoners, honey. We can buy Stygian ivory here, casks of sapphires, Judgment's egg, and we can buy We Are Clay. This trio of clay stokers will reduce crew requirements, but also crew capacity, and will slightly increase engine power. They are fitted to an auxiliary slot. When they are not in use, they will stand patiently, hands by their sides, flat grey eyes unreadable. One will say sometimes, I like it, when it is quiet. Temple of Labors, bring material. And that, my friends, will end our journey today at the shores of Polythereme. We didn't find the clay funging station, but we found enough sources of income that I feel safe going back to London. Hopefully our fuel holds out for the straight shot back that we're going to take. This has been BrainBoy 20, and I am signing off.